Rodgers is back in MVP form with the New York Jets, and this is exactly what the team needed. And Matt and I are going to break it down as Rodgers looks like he's back in MVP form and is running away with the Comeback Player of the Year award. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. Happy Saturday morning. We're going to jump right into it. Guys, Aaron Rodgers on Thursday night went out there and played some phenomenal football against the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, the Patriots are bad. It's not the greatest thing ever when you're beating up on the Patriots. But regardless, he went out there and looked like the man from 2020 and 2021 who was going out there winning MVPs, showing why he's a four-time NFL MVP. And honestly, Matt, looking at the way he's playing, not that I would bet on it, but I do believe that Aaron Rodgers is throwing himself right back into the MVP conversation once again. I think he is playing that well. Now, obviously, he's going to have to make up for the first game with the 49ers where he was still recovering, getting shaken off that rust, a little bit with the Titans also. But he looks like he is back while running away with this Comeback Player of the Year award. What are you thinking after looking at this Patriots game?
So, first, I think it's a little bit hasty to call him back in MVP form after just one game. So I'm going to pump the brakes on that a little bit. But what we can say is he looked like maybe not an MVP version of Aaron Rodgers, but he looked like Aaron Rodgers again. He was moving around the pocket. He was getting outside the pocket. He was running for first downs. Like, that's just stuff that I did not see that coming from Aaron Rodgers, coming off a torn Achilles at 40 years old. And he looks as mobile as they looked at 36, 37 years old before the bad injuries. That was great to see. Also, he was really, you could tell he was seeing the field well because he was finding guys open all over the Patriots defense. It wasn't just Garrett Wilson, not just Breece Hall. It wasn't just the stars. He finally got Tyler Conklin, the tight end, involved for the New York Jets. He got his buddy Allen Lazard, who had a horrific 2023 season, but clearly, he's the receiver on the New York Jets who has the best chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. So going forwards, it's going to be exciting to see how their relationship could even take another step. But what's so important about that first game, about that Thursday night game, is Aaron Rodgers, when the New York Jets need a play out of Aaron Rodgers, he's always there to make that play. The Jets got the third down 15 times, and he picked up 10 of those 15 third downs. So that is a 66.6%, which is a lot better than the 26% that Zach Wilson picked up last year, which was the worst of the last decade. So Aaron Rodgers, what's different about the Jets this year, when they need a play, they don't look at the defense. They don't look at Garrett Wilson and say, Garrett, save us. They say, Aaron Rodgers, you're our quarterback. Go make plays. And he did it all night on Thursday night. It was so much fun to watch.
Matt, it is so good to see, one, Breece Hall not having an insanely stacked box up against him because, well, the Jets now have a man who could, do that, which, well, Zach Wilson couldn't. Zach Wilson might be amazing at shedding away from getting sacked, but he's not good at any other part of football, unfortunately. And that obviously led to the Jets really having to bank on if Garrett Wilson wants to do something, you got to throw him a quick pass that's like a few yards and just let him try to cook. He no longer has to do that. And something, though I do want to keep this mainly about Aaron Rodgers, but I do think we're still waiting to see another step between the chemistry of Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. And I think once they get there, it is going to make Rodgers look a lot better than he already is. Now, as you mentioned, Lazard had a terrible 2023. Within the first game of the season, doubled his touchdowns from 2023. He had one in 2023. In week one of this season, he had 2 touchdowns. NFL leader in touchdowns this year. It's showing that rapport with Rodgers, having that chemistry work so well in this sport. We're seeing that not be fully there yet between Rodgers and Wilson. It's something I'm really not that worried about. I actually didn't even think I was going to bring this up in the video, and then I thought about it while you were talking about this. I think their chemistry is going to be just fine in a few weeks from now. I think they're still working it all out. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I definitely would buy a lot of stock in both Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers in this season because once those two get each other down, I mean, this is the first time Aaron Rodgers has ever had a first-round rookie who's caught a touchdown from him, and it was his 480th career touchdown pass. The first time in his entire career. That's absurd when you look at the weapons that some other NFL great tight end quarterbacks have
Yeah,
had.
so it was his first time throwing to a wide receiver picked in the first round.
Yes.
Because on the Bears roster this year is a 40-something-year-old. I don't know
Jimmy
how
Graham.
old he is. Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis.
I don't know how old he is. He was also taken in the first round. He also caught a pass from Aaron Rodgers.
Now, guys, I do want to say I have been wrong twice already, and that mainly does come from the fact that there's still only 3.3% of you guys being subscribed to the channel. And, I mean, usually it just upsets Matt. I don't get too bothered by it, but clearly it's deducted 5 points from my football knowledge, as I've not only called Aaron Rodgers a tight end, but I also forgot Mercedes Lewis existed, calling him Jimmy Graham, despite the fact that Jimmy Graham was mainly known for playing on the Saints and Seahawks. But, you know, that's what happens when you guys don't subscribe to the channel. So I want to say it's all your guys' fault, but then you might not listen to us talk about it on YouTube. So it's my fault for, unfortunately, just being, as I said to Matt once, I'm dangerously dumb. But to go into more of this, on Thursday night, Aaron Rodgers went 27 for 35 and resembled a point guard, according to ESPN, distributing the ball to everyone around him. He completed passes to 8 different receivers significantly. The 40-year-old quarterback moved well in and outside the pocket, as Matt had mentioned, much better than he did in the first 2 games this season that he did on a short week. Also, only 3 days rest. That bodes so well for the rest of this season. And you could see people are agreeing. And not only that, but Aaron Rodgers is very confident. As he said, we are trying to change this whole attitude around here. Jets fans have been tortured for a long time. Obviously, he's right on that. And the torture might be ending, as Aaron Rodgers now has the 5th best odds in the NFL to win the MVP. Now, Pat Mahomes isn't first, and he's the most talented player in history of the sport, so it makes sense. Josh Allen's up there, obviously leading a Bills team that many people thought would take a step back, and they haven't so far. CJ Stroud doing his thing, not surprising to see him or Jalen Hurts there. Then comes Aaron Rodgers. Matt, we've been a tortured franchise. We now have Aaron Rodgers saying he's trying to change everything, and also coming in here being 5th in MVP voting.
So if you've been to MetLife Stadium this year or week 1 last year, you can tell that he has already changed this franchise. The amount of people that have been in that stadium for the 2 home games that Aaron Rodgers started was night and day different from where we've been in the past. There have been too many games that I've been to, and it was like 30% away fans. Last night, or Thursday night, there was very, very, very few Patriots fans in the crowd, and it was beautiful to see. Also, you're talking about his rapport with Garrett Wilson, and I do think they are not 100% on the same page yet. That is clear from Thursday night. But there was one play where Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if you caught it, I think it was in the 3rd quarter, he got under center, and he put a little hand signal out to Garrett Wilson, and then he had Garrett Wilson was facing his corner was far back off him, and Garrett Wilson ran 7 yards and turned around, and then Aaron Rodgers hit him for a gain. But that wasn't the play call originally, and Aaron Rodgers did his thing where he gets up to the line and makes an audible, or he hot routes one of his guys, and he tells him, run this route, and we're going to get you open, we're going to get you a target, and it's going to work out. And that worked out, and that was awesome to see. Also, with the MVP odds, Vegas knows more than we do. So very, very, very encouraging to see that Aaron Rodgers can be 5th over a guy like Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, and Joe Burrow, a guy who, when he's healthy, he goes to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
let's see what Aaron Rodgers can do.
Absolutely. And it's so nice to see that. But outside of the MVP, there's also just the fact that it's not even close. He is running away with the Comeback Player of the Year award. Now, as Sports Illustrated highlights, if the Bills beat out the Jets in the AFC East, it might be hard to justify Rodgers winning the MVP over Josh Allen. That being said, Rodgers is the clear favorite to win Comeback Player of the Year, sitting at plus 100 odds, meaning that if you were to bet $100 on it, you would make 100 back. That's what's called even odds. After Thursday night's win, J.K. Dobbins at plus 450 after coming off a torn ACL. Sam Darnold at plus 550 after coming off finally a team now believing in him because he's actually a talented player. And I know Matt's going to want to say something about that, so in 1 second I'll throw it to him. And Kirk Cousins, who's coming off another vet who's coming off a torn Achilles at plus 650. Rodgers is the clear favorite. I mean, Matt, if he stays healthy, Rodgers is winning it.
Yeah, you asked me if I had something to say about Sam Darnold, but in terms of the comeback player of the year, there's only one person that matters, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. There's no one even close at this point. Like, as
No.
long as Rodgers stays healthy and stays throughout the year, he's in the MVP voting. He's gonna stay in the running because, again, as we mentioned, like, once Rodgers and Wilson get it down, and we've seen glimpses of it, Garrett Wilson scored a touchdown. He ran on an out route also from a pass that, if you look at that, I'd say almost every single quarterback in the NFL today, not all of them, but most NFL quarterbacks would have been picked off doing that. Zach Wilson probably would have looked at someone else, locked his eyes on him, then thrown the ball somewhere through the uprights to the sixth row and given a souvenir to some fan. So to see, and then he'd go flirt with their mom. But like, then what we're going to look at now is an Aaron Rodgers who's looking like prime Aaron Rodgers, still throwing the ball the same way, still with that incredible control over his passing. It's just beautiful to see.
Yeah, yeah, it should be a fun season. Should be a fun season.
Yeah, but guys, so make sure you let us know what you think down below. Can Aaron Rodgers win this MVP? I'm going with yes. I think he can win it. I think I'm not going to say he's a lock because that's absurd to say when we're in week 3. I think there is a world that Aaron Rodgers wins MVP this season. Matt, what do you think? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yeah, and back to I think there is a world where he wins. He's not gonna be the favorite going into it, but he could win it. Comeback player of the year. If J.K. Dobbins keeps up what he's doing, he would probably take it over Rodgers, but he's not gonna keep that up. So it's gonna be Rodgers.
I'll also say Aaron Rodgers' name value alone. It's easy for the NFL to make more money with
People want to see him win.
Yeah,
like
people
feel bad for Jets
fans,
feel bad for Rodgers after what happened last year. They want to see it work. They want to see it work.
Yeah, and everyone, I saw a tweet that maybe I should have put in this, but just to real quick throw this at the end. Someone mentioned, and he's not the only person to say this, people all know that the NFL is best when Aaron Rodgers is in there doing his thing, and you want to encourage that. So I think Aaron Rodgers will be in the MVP running. It will mean the Jets will have to have one great season, which I believe they're going to have. Obviously, we've talked about the cupcake schedule the Jets have been given, so it's all looking good right now. The vibes are immaculate in Jets world for the first time in a long time. Guys, let us know what you think. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets, baby. We are back.